So are you feeling upbeat about the current economy? If you are, you're not alone. Economic data shows the American consumer is feeling more confident about both their personal financial situation and that of the country as a whole. In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, U.S. Bank Senior Vice President Mike Denneman joins Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio to talk about this positive trend and what it means for the economy.
Thanks, Peg. Hi, Mike.
Good morning.
So this actually sounds a lot like what we were talking about last week in terms of retail sales.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're very interrelated.
Yeah.
And so, right, if retail sales are better, that's primarily because the consumer is spending more money.
Right.
And the consumer tends to spend more money when they're feeling better about their personal financial situation, right? So that's logical. That makes sense. But really, how do you gauge, other than anecdotal evidence, what the consumer is really thinking, right? And so that's where this concept of consumer confidence comes in, which is an economic indicator. It's a statistic that's very closely watched to kind of give us an idea, as Peg said, of what the average American is thinking about the economy.
So speaking of measuring, how do economists measure consumer confidence?
Sure, yeah. So your skepticism is understood, right? Many of our economic...
They don't know what I'm thinking.
Right? It's like, yeah, mind reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the average economic statistic is pretty objective, right? You count up this thing or you add up that thing, and then that's your data point, right?
Right.
This, though, you know, how do you quantify what the consumer is thinking? Well, you know, it's easy as asking them. That's how simple it is. And so there are a couple of different consumer confidence measures out there. The primary one is put together by an economic group called the Conference Board, and they do a monthly survey. They ask average Americans, what are you thinking about your personal finances? What are you thinking about the economy as a whole? They tally up those answers, and that is the Consumer Confidence Index. Granted, it is more subjective.
Yeah.
It's based way more on opinion than on hard data, but still a very closely watched, very important economic statistic.
So what the information that they're getting obviously is good from consumers.
Very good. Yeah, it's been rising now consistently. We said on the program last week that August's index was the highest number that we'd seen in almost 18 years. You have to go all the way back to the fall of 2000 to find the consumer as confident as they are right now. The measure last month was 133. So to put that in context, 100 is the baseline. Anything above that would be optimistic, anything below, pessimistic. The all-time high number is about 145. So at 133, we're kind of getting up there. So again, to bring it full circle, if you're a retailer, you're going to be pretty happy about these numbers. But in a broader context, you know, we're right around the corner from the holiday shopping season, and that's one of the most important aspects of our economy each year. So if the consumer stays upbeat, if they stay positive, if they keep spending the way they have so far this year, you know, we're setting up for a pretty strong finish to the year for the economy.
I have a feeling when we get to holiday shopping time, you're going to revisit this topic,
We most certainly
can see
will.
where we are.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike.